Have you ever snapped at someone you love over something completely small just hours after checking your bank account? Or felt your chest tighten when a friend suggests dinner out, not because you don't want to go, but because you're already calculating whether you can afford it? Here's what most people tell themselves: I'm just stressed. I'm being too emotional. I need to be more responsible. But that's not what's happening. The truth is, your brain doesn't separate money from survival. And right now, while you're watching this, your financial situation is quietly controlling more of your emotions than you realize. Here's what's really happening. Every time you check your bank balance, your brain runs the same calculation it's been running for thousands of years. Do I have enough to survive? And when the answer feels like barely, your entire emotional system goes into defense mode. You're not overreacting. You're responding exactly how evolution designed you to respond when resources feel scarce. What if I told you that the anxiety you feel at 2 a.m., the irritability that comes out of nowhere, and the fear that keeps you frozen aren't about money at all, but about a hidden loop your brain can't escape? In the next 18 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how your bank balance hijacks your emotional system, why you keep making the same financial mistakes even when you know better, and the 3 specific steps that finally break this cycle. By the end of this video, you'll understand why you feel what you feel, and more importantly, what to do about it. I'm James, and I've spent far too much time breaking down how money affects our psychology and what the financially secure do differently that no one ever teaches you. And today, I want to show you something that changes everything once you see it: the invisible loop between your money and your emotions, and how to finally break free from it. If you're ready to understand what's really controlling how you feel every day, hit that subscribe button, because this isn't just about money. It's about getting your life back. Let me paint you a picture you probably know too well. You wake up, and before your feet even hit the floor, you're already thinking about money. The rent that's due next week, the credit card bill you're putting off opening, the card that's making that noise you can't afford to have checked. You tell yourself you'll deal with it later, but later never really comes because there's always another bill, another expense, another reason to worry. And here's what nobody talks about. This weight doesn't stay in your bank account. It follows you everywhere. You become irritable over things that normally wouldn't bother you. You avoid social situations because every invitation comes with a price tag you're already calculating. You lie awake at 2 a.m., not because something bad happened, but because your brain won't stop running the numbers. And the worst part, you feel like you're the only one struggling this way. But you're not being dramatic. You're not weak. And you're definitely not alone. What you're experiencing is your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do when it perceives a threat to your survival. Because to your brain, money isn't just money. It's shelter, food, safety, and the difference between being okay and not being okay. Here's the truth that changes everything. Your brain can't tell the difference between financial stress and physical danger. When your bank account is low, the same part of your brain that would activate if you were being chased by a predator lights up. Your amygdala, your emotional control center, doesn't understand the difference between "I'm $200 short on rent" and "I'm in immediate physical danger." This creates what I call the financial emotional loop. It works like this. Low money triggers stress. Stress floods your system with cortisol. Cortisol makes you anxious, impulsive, and unable to think clearly. That anxiety leads to poor decisions, either avoiding your finances completely or making emotional purchases to feel better. Those poor decisions keep your money low, and the loop continues. The devastating part is this loop is invisible. You feel the anxiety, the frustration, the fear, but you don't connect it directly to the number in your account. You just think you're having a bad day, or a bad week, or that you're somehow broken. But once you see how this loop works, once you understand that your emotions aren't random but responding to a very real perceived threat, everything changes. Because you can't fix what you can't see, and now you're starting to see it. The science behind it. Let me show you exactly how money hijacks your emotional system. There are 3 main triggers, and chances are at least one of them is controlling you right now. The first trigger is perceived scarcity. Your brain has a threshold, an invisible line where it decides whether you have enough or not enough. And here's what's wild. That line isn't about objective numbers. Having $500 in your account versus $5,000 creates a completely different emotional reality, even though both are technically having money. Your brain treats a low bank balance like a gas tank running on empty. The warning light is on, and every decision becomes about survival mode, not growth mode. The second trigger is social comparison. You see someone on Instagram at a restaurant you can't afford. A coworker mentions their vacation. A friend shows up in a new car. And instantly, without even realizing it, your brain starts measuring. Am I falling behind? Am I failing? Money stress isn't just about what you have. It's about what others appear to have and where you think you should be. The third trigger is the deepest one: identity and self-worth. Somewhere along the way, most of us learned to tie our value as human beings to our financial success. It's not something we'd say out loud, but in quiet moments, the question haunts us. If I'm broke, what does that say about me? We confuse net worth with self-worth. And when money's tight, it doesn't just stress us out, it makes us feel like we're not enough. Here's what makes this even harder. Financial stress literally reduces your cognitive ability. Studies show that when you're worried about money, your functional IQ drops by an average of 13 points. Think about that. The moment you need your best thinking to solve your money problems, your brain is operating at its worst. It's like trying to run a marathon with weights tight to your legs. And it doesn't stop with you. Money is the #1 cause of conflict in relationships, not because couples can't agree on a budget, but because money represents security, control, and survival. When one person feels financially unsafe, that fear leaks into everything. Arguments that seem like they're about dishes or plans are really about, can we survive? Are we going to be okay? This is exactly why understanding these patterns matters. So if this is resonating with you, do me a favor and hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed, because we're about to get into how this shows up in your actual life. The 4 emotional patterns. Most people fall into one of 4 patterns when it comes to money and emotions. And the wild part is you might recognize yourself in more than one. First, there's the avoider. If you find yourself not checking your bank account, ignoring statements, or putting off looking at bills, you're not lazy, you're protecting yourself from emotional pain. Because deep down, you already suspect what the numbers will say, and ignorance feels safer than facing reality. The problem is, avoiding doesn't make the problem smaller. It just makes the fear bigger. Then there's the emotional spender. You buy things when you're happy to celebrate, when you're sad to feel better, when you're stressed to distract yourself, when you're bored to feel something. Money becomes emotional medication. The purchase gives you a hit of relief or excitement, but it's temporary. And then comes the guilt, which creates more stress, which makes you want to spend again to feel better. It's a cycle and it's exhausting. Third is the anxious accumulator. Maybe you actually have money saved. Maybe you're doing okay on paper, but you never feel safe. There's always this voice saying it's not enough. You deny yourself things you can afford because the fear of losing what you have is stronger than the joy of using it. Here's the hard truth. You can be financially stable and emotionally broke at the same time. And finally, there's the performer. You spend to prove something, to yourself or to others. Your lifestyle is a shield, a way of saying, I'm doing fine, see? But underneath, you're exhausted from keeping up appearances, and the gap between what people think you have and what you actually have keeps growing. None of these patterns make you bad with money. They make you human, because what you're really trying to do in each of these cases is manage an emotional threat using the only tools you have. But here's where it gets interesting. There's a specific point where everything changes. It's not about being rich, it's about having margin. That moment when an unexpected $300 expense doesn't send you into panic. When you can say no to something without feeling like you're missing out or failing. When you check your account and instead of fear, you feel neutral or maybe even calm. Peace of mind isn't a luxury.
It's the first dividend your money pays. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need six figures to start feeling it. You just need enough buffer that your brain stops screaming danger every time you think about money.
How to break the loop. So, how do you actually interrupt this financial emotional loop? How do you stop letting money control your emotions? Step 1. Make the invisible visible. For the next 7 days, do what I call an emotion audit. Every time you feel anxious, irritable, or stressed, write it down. Then ask yourself, did I just check my bank account? Did I see something about money? Did someone mention finances? You're not trying to fix anything yet. You're just noticing the pattern, because you can't change what you can't see. Step 2. Create what I call an emergency peace fund. This isn't your 6-month emergency fund that financial experts talk about. This is smaller, simpler, and way more powerful for your emotions. It's $500 to $1,000 that exists for one reason: to give your brain breathing room. Because here's the thing. The jump from $0 to $500 saved does more for your emotional stability than the jump from $5,000 to $10,000. It's not about the amount. It's about moving from I have nothing to I have something. That shift is everything. Step 3, and this is the hardest one. You have to separate your identity from your bank account. Your worth as a human being has nothing to do with your net worth. I know we're told the opposite our entire lives, but think about it. The best parts of who you are, the things that actually matter, your kindness, your humor, your ability to love people, your creativity, none of that shows up on a bank statement. Try this. Make a list of 5 things that make you valuable that money can't measure. Then, when you're feeling worthless because of your finances, read that list. Your bank account is a tool. It's not a scoreboard. It measures your resources, not your value. If you're still with me, drop a comment and let me know which of those 3 steps you're going to try first. I read every single one, and your insights help other people who are on this same journey. The shift in perspective. Here's the perspective shift that changes everything. Instead of thinking, I don't have enough money, try, I'm still building. Instead of, why can't I get this right, try, what do I need to learn? Instead of comparing yourself to everyone else's highlight reel, remember, you're not behind. You're just on a different mile. Because financial freedom isn't actually about the moment you have $1 million. It's about the moment money stops controlling your emotions. It's when you can look at your account without your heart rate changing. It's when an unexpected expense is inconvenient, not catastrophic. It's when you make spending decisions based on values, not fear. That's the real goal. Not to be rich, but to be free from the emotional grip that money has on you right now. And here's something nobody tells you. The journey to get there, the process of building that buffer and changing your relationship with money, that journey teaches you more about yourself than the actual money ever will. Every dollar you manage with clarity is a step toward emotional freedom. Every time you choose not to avoid your finances, you're building emotional strength. Every time you save instead of spend impulsively, you're proving to yourself that you're in control. So, let me bring this full circle. You now understand why you feel the way you feel about money. It's not because you're weak or broken or bad with finances. It's because your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do: protect you from perceived threats. The problem is, in our modern world, money became the threat, and your emotional system can't tell the difference between a low bank account and actual danger. But now you see the loop. You see how low money creates stress, stress creates poor decisions, and poor decisions keep money low. And once you see it, you can interrupt it. Not overnight, not perfectly, but one decision at a time, 1 mile at a time. Start with awareness. Track 1 week of your emotional reactions to money. Notice the patterns. Then build that small buffer, that emergency peace fund that gives your brain space to breathe. And most importantly, separate who you are from what you have. Your worth isn't in your wallet. It's in your willingness to keep moving forward, even when it's hard.
Financial freedom isn't about having everything. It's about fearing nothing. And that journey starts the moment you decide to understand what's really happening instead of just reacting to it. I'm James, and remember, progress happens 1 mile at a time. If this helped you see money differently, subscribe to this channel and check out the video on screen right now, because your relationship with money is about to change. And I'll be here, guiding you through it every step of the way.